This is the Cheap Fly Adventure to Katowice in Poland. So I arrive into the central train station. This is the train I took here from Ostrava in Czech Republic, since this is a combined Cheap Fly Adventure of both Ostrava and Katowice. And when this train arrived, it opened its doors on both sides, so you could step out of the train onto the platform here, or you could step out the other side directly onto the other train track. Is it meant to do that, or is that driver error? It seems weird. Anyway, here is the train departing. And along to the train station lift, which is a really cheap and nasty lift. And along into the main hall of the station. And into the really nice shopping centre. And this is so nice to finally be back in Poland after all the lockdown coronavirus stuff. Poland has the poshest, nicest shopping centres, and despite that, everything here is cheaper than the equivalent stuff in England. Poland is such a nice country, and all of the stereotypes you hear about Poland back in England are complete utter rubbish. Such as it's rough, all the people are dodgy. That's completely untrue. Poland is literally one of the nicest countries in Europe. And now we go to the lifts in this shopping centre, which are sadly just Otis Gen 2 lifts. So then, this is what a city centre looks like at night. And now along to the place where I'm staying. This place costs just £12 per night. Now that is cheap. Now a place I stayed in Ostrava in Czech Republic cost £15 a night, and that actually had an ensuite bathroom like it was a full proper hotel room. That is really good value. And this place for £12 a night in Poland doesn't have an ensuite bathroom, but it's still really nice and still great value for money. And now we go along to a tallish building in the city centre. This is a mixed use building, with the upper part of the building being hotel and the lower part being offices. First we go to the hotel lifts, which are some 4 metre a second ThyssenKrupp lifts, which are modernised by Otis. And here I am at the top hotel floor. And now down to the lower floors of the building, and let's try the office lifts, which are some 3.5 metre a second ThyssenKrupp lifts modernised by Otis with destination dispatch. When I first came across these lifts, only one of the 4 lifts was working, as it appears that it was engineers in the motion doing something to the other lifts, and the one remaining working lift was very busy and stopped at every floor.
Wybierz numer piętra. Piętro 16. Wsiądź do windy numer 2 na prawo z przodu.
After this, the destination dispatch did say weird, and the other 3 lifts then entered service. So there definitely was an engineer in the motor room.
For car.
4.
Please re-enter your requests. Passengers waiting for car.
4.
Please re-enter your request.
And on the conference room in this building, there are these ThyssenKrupp lifts, but sadly these were not working. Now we go along to the service lift, which is a 2.5 metre a second ThyssenKrupp lift. So then, let's carry on looking around the city centre and along to these weird outdoor shaftless lifts. And now we go along to the City Hall, which is a posh government building, which has a paternoster. And now we go to the High Street and along to Super Sam, which is a shopping centre which has some eco-disc lifts. So then let's take a look at the neighbouring cities, and along we go to Bytom. And this is what the high street looks like. And into the Agora shopping centre, which has some nice glass MX20 1.6 metre a second eco discs. And now we go along to Zabrze, and here is the high street. And now go along to the shopping centre. This is a very nice looking shopping centre. Let's take a look around. And in this shopping centre there's two main shopping levels, 0 and 1. And in the car park, as the ceilings are lower in the car park to the main shopping area, there's 3 shopping levels with a middle level in between 0 and 1. This middle level is called 0.5, which is really weird. And now in Poland you do get 0.5 floors, but this is normally on a half floor where the lift opens on 2 different sides, so it stops at half floors. This is the first ever time I've seen a half floor where it's actually a full height floor, but it's called a half floor. So then, heading back into the centre, and along we go to the Silisa shopping centre. This shopping centre is very nice and very interesting to explore. And along we go to a lift, which is a generic hydraulic lift, which is painfully slow. And now go along to the next lift, which is an Otis Gen 2 lift. This shopping centre has a weird fountain where water runs down the handrails in the atrium. And now go along to the next lift, and judging by the shape of a logic cabinet, it appears to be a ThyssenKrupp ISIS lift, although the buttons of this lift are of the next model up. And now we go along to Sosnowiec. And now go along to a Schindler D-Series hydraulic lift at a tram stop. and along to a hotel here, which has a fairly boring lift. What a piece of shit. And now we go to the shopping centre, which is Sosnowiec Plaza. This shopping centre has two Schindler lifts. These are different models of Schindler. There's one 3300 with capacitive buttons and one lift with Eurolift buttons, which is actually hydraulic. First into the 3300 and now into
Poziom -2.
and now into the hydraulic. This is disappointing that this lift's hydraulic, as by the look of it, it looks quite well built. It looks like it should be a 5400, but it's a hydraulic. And now we go to the tower blocks here. Let's see what these Polish tower blocks are like. And into the first one. Let's explore it. And let's surf the lift. And now we go to the tower block next door. The old lift in this block's been modernised by Otis. Inside it's a fairly typical Otis mod, and on top it's got belt cables attached onto the old chassis of the lift, which looks quite weird. And now we go along to Bedzin. With a name like Bedzin, I was hoping it'd be like a really big place. Turns out it's actually nothing there. But on the outskirts of Bedzin, there is a shopping centre, which is more of a big shed. Literally, this shopping centre is one massive long shed. It looks really grim on the outside, but on the inside it's really nice. But sadly this shopping centre is just one massive floor of shopping, which means there's no lifts. So then, back along into the city centre of Katowice, and this place actually has electric buses. But sadly, I ran out of time and I was not able to go on them, which was really annoying. We now got on a regular diesel bus along to Katowice Airport. And here is the airport. Let's take a look around. And along to the goods lift, which is an Otis Gen 2. Now we go along to the next lift, which is a glass Otis Gen 2. And now we go along to the next lift, which is another glass Gen 2. And by the way, I'm still actually landside. I've not crossed over to airside yet. Yet the position of this lift's quite weird, as from this position it looks like it's airside, and you get a view of the X-ray machines from this lift, which is quite weird because normally they make sure there's nothing overlooking the X-ray machines in the airport. It's quite weird you can just watch them from the lift. And now we go over to airside, and on airside there is a small Schindler 5500, which is much nicer than the Otis Gen 2s, and considering it's a small lift that only goes 2 floors, you'd normally expect to have a boring crap 3300, but it's really nice they've gone for a 5500 for this job. And now it's almost time to get on the aeroplane back to England, and the plane was delayed by 20 minutes, and while everyone was waiting at a gate for the aeroplane to come, there was this 3-year-old having an argument with his parents, and this 3-year-old went stomping off down to the gate door and hit the green emergency release. And when it happened, everyone waiting at a gate almost went running out onto the runway, and when it happened, to be honest, I just couldn't stop laughing. But the interesting and rather scary thing is, nobody knew why the gate doors had opened. None of the staff realised what had happened, and not even the 3-year-old's parents had realised what happened. Only person there knew what had happened apart from the 3-year-old was myself. And this is really bad because this is a security breach. Now, this is airside in the airport and there has to be fire exits in case there's a fire. So the gate doors do double up as fire exits in most airports. But if anyone was to press that green emergency release and open those doors, security should come running. They should be notified that very major things happen. This is a big security issue. But the fact none of the staff realised is bad. And while there's not going to be any major security incidences at this little airport, it's still not good that someone could have got on the runway using this method. Now the staff only noticed when the doors opened because there was staff at the gate waiting for a plane and they noticed the doors opening. If this happened at a gate where there wasn't any staff, literally nobody would even realise that someone had gone on the runway. It's scary. Anyways, now time to get on the plane back to London, and here is the Ryanair plane departing. na 9.